saboteur, commando. Americans are becoming increasingly aware of the importance of these names in the news of World War II. In a conflict fought on 100 constantly changing fronts, opportunity has arisen for the use of small bands of highly trained irregulars to be injected behind enemy lines. With almost certain death as the penalty for capture, these men must operate toward the utmost destruction of property and life. Their only chance of survival depends upon extreme ingenuity, an intimate knowledge of the country, and the confidence born of months of training and study. Somewhere in America, the United States is developing hundreds of recruits for this specialized service. Handpicked, with the aid of Army and Navy intelligence facilities, the men are taken under guard to the secret training camp which is to be their home for the weeks to follow. The area is located high in an eastern mountain range, miles from the nearest village, and under constant guard by U.S. soldiers and Marines. This isolated, heavily wooded terrain offers an excellent proving ground for the student of guerrilla tactics. Classes are limited to less than a dozen men, thus ensuring the utmost security and providing almost individual instruction for each student. From the moment of their induction, the identities of the recruits remain a carefully guarded secret, which explains the use of masks in this film. From whence they came, or for what perilous mission they're being prepared, is the concern of nobody at camp. In this group, there are some who speak very little English. One of them has fought in 4 wars. 2 of them are veteran guerrillas from the Spanish loyalist forces. Several have seen their relatives and friends die at the hands of the enemy. But all of them have this in common. They burn with a desire for vengeance, and they mean to deal it out as it was given, at close quarters with no holds barred. After the senior instructor has delivered a short induction speech, he presents each man with an identification badge bearing a first name only. From this point onward, the students are known by officers and fellow recruits merely as Student Jack or Student Fred, or whatever name has been assigned them. They will be confined at all times to the camp area, and when they finally leave, it will be to proceed immediately and incommunicado to the conveyance that takes them to the scene of action. Every item of personal equipment is supplied by the government. The men arrive without so much as a toothbrush or pencil. During this training period, emphasis is put on close association among members of the same student group. An expert guerrilla or saboteur must not only think and act quickly for himself, but must almost anticipate the next action of his colleagues. Individual quarters are hidden in the woods, and the students are taught to live in seclusion, in conditions simulating those they may encounter as guerrillas behind enemy lines. This outdoor trainasium was carefully constructed to develop muscles most used in individual close combat. In fact, the first principle of commando or guerrilla training evolves from the theory that the best defense is a good offense. Hit first and talk afterwards. In short, get tough. And in the business of getting tough, there is certainly no better companion than the Colt 45 automatic. During his instruction period, the student is taught an entirely new system of pistol technique, especially adapted for fast offensive action. An essential feature of this system is quick loading. The pistol is held in the right hand with palm upward. Magazine is inserted with left hand. After insertion, always give it an extra push to drive it home, and then be sure magazine is engaged by testing with forefinger of left hand. To cock the gun, turn over. so that palm faces downward. Grasp the slide firmly with the left hand. Push forward with the right, and then let go with the left, allowing the slide to spring back into position. The weapon is now loaded, ready for action. To unload, turn over. Press the magazine release catch with thumb of left hand, drawing the magazine out into the palm. After unloading, always check the gun several times, working the slide back and forth and releasing the trigger with the barrel pointed into the ground. To familiarize the student with the firing action of the gun, he is first taught a preliminary upright stance. Stand squarely facing the target, bring the right arm stiff across the body with the gun approximately in dead center. Cock the wrist to the right so that the pistol points straight ahead. Now raise the weapon to the level of the eyes until the target surrounds the barrel. In this entire school of pistol shooting, the gun is always raised to the firing position and lowered as soon as the shot is fired. The actual offensive firing stance is assumed in this manner. Left foot forward, both knees bent, with the weight always forward on the toes. Keep elbow and wrist locked, pistol parallel with the ground, and as close to the center of the body as possible. Left arm is raised to preserve better balance. The pistol is held tightly, as if it weighed 40 or 50 pounds. Grip it until it trembles. In close gunplay, it'll be trembling anyway. At the target, the recruit assumes the preliminary upright position to make him at ease with the gun action. Now, set your magazine, test it. Turn pistol over, bring it in line with center of body. Up slowly, fire one. Slowly down. Up and fire one. Slowly down. That's good. Now the crouch. On your toes. Up and fire two. Fast. Grip it tight. Again. Unload. Remove your magazine. Work the slide. Release the hammer into the ground. Now reload. Test the magazine again. This time, cock the pistol and fire in one movement, like this. Go. That's fine. Once more. Fire. Once again. Fire. You see? All these are good shots, between the chin and the crotch, in a strip not more than 6 inches wide. With that kind of shooting, you'd get your man up to 25 yards, day or night. All right, everybody up to the target. That's it. In close on the sides. Come on, closer yet. A little more. That's it. What a difference it makes, doesn't it? It's one thing to fire at a target that can't shoot back, and it's another thing to hear those bullets whizzing by your ears. The average person is thrown off balance. And thus ends the first lesson in offensive pistol shooting. During their time off duty, students will spend many hours before these mirrors, checking and rechecking their positions. In the field, they'll be expected to get there first with the most lead, and their lives will depend upon their ability to do so. In the weeks following, Daily classroom instruction is given in such varied subjects as enemy propaganda, the principles of demolition, photography, and the fundamentals of cross-country reconnaissance. Outdoors, the student is shown a new technique of throwing the hand grenade. The latest type fragmentation bomb can be tossed with fair accuracy for a distance of 60 yards and is capable of spreading the destruction within a radius of twice that distance. The safest and most efficient method of throwing is illustrated here. Grip the grenade firmly in the throwing hand, with the fingers holding down the safety lever. The throwing motion is similar to that used in putting the shot, but with added wrist motion. The target in this case is about 70 yards away. The instructor pulls the pin. The grenade is now hot. After he's let go of the safety arm, it'll detonate in 5 seconds. There it goes. A direct hit. There are no Marquis of Queensberry rules in guerrilla warfare. It's a simple matter of kill or be killed, capture or be captured. In this phase of the instruction period, the student is taught the gentle art of murder, the technique of killing or crippling his opponent with his two hands at close quarters. The success of this system of close combat has little to do with size or strength. The larger man here should have little trouble tossing the smaller one around, yet by the pressure of one finger in the right spot, he is rendered powerless. The same theory applies to all the holds in this course. Most valuable offensive blow at close quarters is the chin jab. The hand is held open at shoulder height, and the blow is delivered to the opponent's chin with all the weight of the body in the follow-through. As the blow is launched, the knee comes up to the testicles and the fingers close on the opponent's eyes. Another excellent weapon is the edge of the hand. Keep the fingers tight together, thumb erect. The blow is a sharp slash with follow-through. Most effective objectives are the side of the neck and 1 inch below the Adam's apple, the forearm, upper arm, back of the neck, kidneys, base of spine, and on the inside of either thigh. Properly delivered, any one of these blows will put a man out of action. If your arms are pinned, don't overlook your opponent's feet. Scrape down his shins and smash his instep. It should break his hold, not to mention the small bones in his feet. An even better break from the bear hug is this method of grabbing the testicles. As he drops his hold and falls away, go after him. To get out of a one-hand stranglehold, merely turn against the thumb and walk away. When two hands are used, bring your right over, grasping his wrist. Bring your left up under the elbow and force him down. Lock his arm and go after his eyes with your free hand. To break a bear hug from the front, place one hand in the small of your opponent's back, jab to his chin with the other. Always remember to concentrate on the eyes. This is very apt to produce astigmatism. Another break from the rear bear hug. Grasp the small finger of his top hand, twist it back in this fashion, and walk away. If both arms are free, there is this variation of the testicle grip. After he's dropped his hold, slide out sideways and grasp his arm, bringing him to the ground. If your adversary holds you up from the rear, turn away from the gun, falling into him. Pin his gun arm and lock it with your left, at the same time jabbing to his chin and eyes and bringing the knee up to his testicles. As he falls, go with him, keeping your knee in his groin. To disarm from the front, bring the left hand quickly across his shooting hand, grasp the pistol, and deflect it toward him. Bring the right down and twist his wrist back, breaking it if possible. Follow through as usual, using the knee to complete the job. In coming to the aid of a comrade, approach from the back, seizing the opponent's shooting arm and bending it back. Apart from the commando knife, which is considered in the later part of the training course, there are several hand weapons of inestimable value in guerrilla warfare. One of these is the Kosh, spelled K-O-S-H. The hitting end is a lead weight, which telescopes into a small cylinder secured up the sleeve by a wrist thong. In preparing for action, the cylinder is dropped into the palm of the hand, and the actual blow is delivered as a sidearm throw. Centrifugal force drives the lead weight out to the end of the spring. A properly delivered blow to the side of the head will cause a skull fracture and possibly death. The Smash-It is a heavy knife of extreme killing power, beautifully balanced and capable of lethal action either with the point, blade, or pommel. Best blows are delivered with the point at the stomach, the saber blow across the neck, cross arm to the neck, and the smash under the chin with the pommel. The Derringer, a tiny single-shot pistol which can be concealed in the palm of the hand or up the sleeve, may be the difference between life and death in an emergency. Most methods of disarming are equally applicable to all types of sidearms, but the following are believed to be better adapted to use against the revolver. Here's the simplest defense of all: a quick blow with the edge of the hand across the wrist, possibly breaking it. The same technique when the approach is from the rear. Another disarm from the front. Seize the wrist in one hand, and with the other twist the pistol against your opponent's fingers. In some cases, this maneuver works better. Grab the gun in one hand, strike the wrist sharply with the other, at the same time pulling the weapon free. A very simple and effective means of reducing the homicide rate when revolvers are used. Merely clutch the cylinder and hold it securely. As long as the cylinder can't turn, the gun can't fire. This is not a good idea if the gun is cocked or of the single-action variety. Here is an easy way to handle the character who enjoys using the stiff arm. Put hands together, one over the other, and bring them down, thus pressing the pusher's wrist against your chest. Bend forward, and he'll go to his knees. A favorite and very effective means of subduing an unarmed opponent is this arm lock. Bend his elbow with the right arm and allow your left to slip inside against his back. Move forward, thus locking the hold. Your right hand is now free to apply further pressure on his trapped hand or to aid in tying him up. After a few weeks of preliminary training, the student is told to report alone to the pistol house. A mysterious structure is never before entered. In the anteroom, the instructor gives him his problem. A group of enemy saboteurs are active in the neighborhood, taking a heavy toll of life and property. The student is to make contact and to maintain it until either he or the enemy is wiped out. In the final stages of training, the students are given night problems which are designed to correlate all they've learned of close combat, reconnaissance, pistol and knife technique, and demolition. In every detail, the same care is taken to simulate combat conditions, and each student is required to familiarize himself with the uniforms, signs, and languages he will encounter in actual guerrilla raids overseas.
Die Leute müssen unbedingt untergebracht werden, verstehen Sie? Warum? Aber es heißt warum, Mensch? Die Leute müssen untergebracht werden, und das in England wieder kommen. Ich kann das nicht anfangen.
Herr Oberst, ich hatte mit Herrn Major Klause hier eine lange Unterredung. Und wir kommen uns ganz überein, dass der Feind hier entweder Saboteure oder Kommandotruppen gelandet hat. Nicht wahr, Herr Major?
Jawohl.
Gut, nun. Also Herr Oberst, wenn Sie mal hierher diese Küste, nicht wahr? Die Küste hier bietet ausgezeichnete Gelegenheit, ganz nahe an unsere Gegend heranzukommen. Also Fallschirme gibt es überhaupt nicht. Unser Seeboote, ja, unbedingt.